Hello and welcome to the first video of Izzy's Cosy Gaming Club. I just wanted to start a little channel just having fun really and playing a few games, just very calm games, nothing too serious, and hopefully you will like them too. So the first one I'm kicking off with a Sims video and quite a big build. This is the biggest build I've definitely done. I'm not an avid Sims player, so I don't do a lot of builds all the time, and I really kind of challenged myself on this first one. So I was determined. I've seen a lot of videos of people creating villages within a lot, and I wanted to see what the biggest playable village I could make was. So using the rent kit, in theory I can have 6 apartments, each holding 8 people, so I can technically have a maximum of 48 people without using cheats on a lot. And I wanted to see how experimental I could get and how user-friendly it would be. So this first video is just me building the actual village itself. So I don't do any of the interiors in here. This is all the exteriors and building the houses. It's also my first time kind of playing with the terrain tool properly, so I wanted to do some kind of, I don't know, make it interesting. We're coming down slopes, having the rivers. It was a lot of playing around, and I do a lot of changes towards the end. And what I discovered with the rent pack is you could have multiple apartments for each one. So say you've got apartment 1, you can for 8 people, but you can separate those into 8 individual buildings but still class it as apartment 1. So there is going to be 48 separate houses, cottages, whatever, for each of the Sims. So they're all individual Sims I'm going to do. I thought it'd be quite fun. I've actually created a few shared spaces in here as well, so I think I'm going to build like a little cafe, potentially a bar, and then I'm just going to do like a library art place maybe, just to test it out. I don't have the hobbies pack yet, unfortunately. I don't have all the packs anyway, so it's mainly just a kind of living a village. And then I thought it would be fun to later on in the next video we actually design the inside of each of the houses, but maybe a bit more on a random scale. So I'm going to put into a wheel just a random bunch of themes, like it could be 60s, 70s, or it could be based on a aspiration, it could be based on a career, it could be based on a location, I don't know, and pop it into a wheel, and we'll randomly select one and create each house with that, and then we'll create a sim that'll fit that house, and eventually it'll be playable. But if you guys have got any ideas for themes and stuff for the kind of interiors, let me know. The exterior that I've got going on, I kind of had in my mind like a gothic sort of feel. It's not pure, it's not super gothic, but it's quite dark colours I use on the exteriors of this. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go with it, whether I wanted tropical, medieval, kind of cottagey vibe. It kind of is cottagey vibe, but a bit more darker than that. So you'll just see I experiment as I go along. So it is a speed build because I have to really concentrate doing this. So yeah, if you want to see more like as I'm doing it sort of videos, then do let me know as well. But any ideas that you've got for interiors, please let me know. And yeah, and I apologise, this might be a bit all over the place, but I hope you enjoy. There was a lot of working out for me to do, especially with the different terrains and different levels, trying to get stairs in, trying to get bridges in. There was a lot of working around that I had to do. And something I would say, if you attempt to do something like this, is once I created all the kind of shells, and I just pop shells anywhere with the intention of making them look a bit more interesting in terms of shape wise as I do them one by one. I just wanted to make sure I had enough space and stuff, but then I went ahead and assigned them to the different apartment spaces so ready. I would actually recommend doing that afterwards because it got a little confusing at times. But yeah, some of these are single level, some of these double level, some I added a garden rooftop to, which I thought was quite fun. But yeah, I'm going to let you sit and watch this for a bit, and I'll come back and kind of give kind of what my ideas were as we go along. But this first bit is more just kind of connecting everything with bridges, which again was quite tricky for me to try and work out how to do. But I got there in the end. Okay, so now I'm making a start on the first house. So like you see, I added bits to make the shell a bit more interesting as we went. I probably spent a bit too long on the first house. I kind of rapidly picked up the speed as I went through the other houses because obviously once I decide what the inside theme's going to be, I can add a bit of that character to the outside. So the exteriors, I kind of wanted them, even though they're not the same each house, I wanted them to kind of have the same feel about them and not too out of place, whereas the interiors of all of them we can make them quite fun and jazzy and whatever. So again, any ideas, let me know. And if you've got any tips or tricks that you think I could do to improve this build as well, let me know. Like I said, I'm not someone who does a lot of big builds, and I thought for my first video, why not challenge myself? So it's a lot of playing around, and if you are an avid Sims builder and you've got any advice, then do leave it below. But you'll see I got kind of like a gothic cottage theme running throughout the town. So yeah, the first house I did probably spend a bit too long on, but I do pick up the speed as we go along. You will notice throughout the houses that I use a lot of like the wall plants to decorate the houses, just because that's the kind of also the look I was going for. I wanted it quite planty and just kind of pops of green against like the darker stone. I thought looked quite cool as well. Yeah, you'll see that a lot. Something I did find tricky with creating such a big lot and lots of buildings is the camera. So anytime I tried to move angles, sometimes it would shoot itself out or shoot itself in. So it was harder for me to kind of see what was going on. So again, if you've got any recommendations for how I can kind of use the camera a bit better to kind of see what I was doing, let me know. Because that was one thing, especially when it came to the roof, sometimes it would zoom itself right out and I'd have a bit of a tricky time seeing what I was doing. I did decide with some of the houses that were kind of really connecting that I did actually make them kind of the outer shell the same, so it looked a bit more like a apartment complex, I guess, in a way. Some of them I didn't do that, some of them I kind of made a bit more individual, but a lot of the ones where they're kind of connecting, almost like looking like a one building type situation, I did kind of give the exteriors something very similar, because actually I thought it worked quite well. Okay, this is where I decided I was going to put my first kind of shared lot. So this is going to be a little cafe, and then whoever owns it lives in the apartment above. Like I said, I don't have the hobbies pack right now, but that's maybe something I can get to help incorporate into this. Whether you can do that, have multiple businesses on one lot with all the apartments, I'm not sure how it works, but it could be something interesting. So yeah, I'm just creating a little outside space, and I will do a bit of an interiors as well, obviously when it gets to the next video. But yeah, just creating a little outdoor space for people to come, have some coffee, have some cake, because yeah, I do want to obviously create a few parts to this. When we do the interiors, we design the Sims, and then a few play videos as well, so we can see how the Sims interact, who likes who, and just see if it actually works as a proper livable, usable village. So yeah. So this is another example of a kind of housing complex where I made the outside look the same, just because I felt it just looked a bit better that way and less disjointed. But we'll have a lot of fun when it gets to the interior and making them very unique, some of it wacky. So yeah. Also, I tried to make sure I gave a lot of them balconies and outdoor areas, because there isn't much room to kind of create gardens. I just wanted to make sure that some of them had something that they could sit outside and enjoy the views as well. So as I mentioned earlier, I tried to actually add some rooftop gardens to some of the houses, partly to give them space to be outside in their own property, but also, I don't know about you, but I find doing roofs in Sims not particularly fun. Obviously it really makes a house, and especially adding trimming, it really makes it look good, but the actual adding roofs and stuff wasn't fun. So for some of them, yeah, like I said, I did some open top gardens, added some plants in there to make it a bit more interesting as well. If you have any suggestions for names, or the name of the village I can give, or the apartments, because at the moment it's Hay Hill Landing, which was the automatic name it gave when I put the apartments in, so I kind of left it for now. But if you've got any suggestions based on the finished result, do let me know as well, and we can kind of change it and mix it up a little bit. And let me know what kind of length of videos you like seeing as well. This is about half an hour long. It is quite a lengthy video because there's a lot of houses to do. And I can imagine interior-wise, it won't take as long because we'll have most of it sorted. It'll just be deciding rooms and stuff. But yeah, let me know your preference on length of video as well. And yeah, any suggestions, leave down below. So as I mentioned, I do want to make this quite a nice little cozy gaming channel. Nothing too stressful, nothing too serious, or like, you know, any violent games or anything like that. Although I do, especially with PS1, I love Tekken 3 and Italian Job and Die Hard and stuff like that. But I want to keep this quite just something chilled and something simple. So other games I had in mind were Stardew Valley. Me and my boyfriend, we have a joint farm currently. I think we're in year 3 of doing it, and we've built it up quite well. We make quite a bit of money on that, and it's quite a big farm, which is quite fun. But I thought it could be interesting to start one that's just myself, and maybe get your guys' input of what we should create as a farm. And any other cozy games that you got, like recommendations wise, let me know. Like I said, just keep it very simple, very chilled. Games you can just kind of relax to, I guess, in a way, is what I want this channel to be. So yeah, any thoughts, let me know. I probably should have said near the beginning, but I actually picked a lot in Ravenwood. I thought it'd suit the kind of setting quite well, and it's quite a big lot. I want to say it's the biggest 64 by 64, I think. But yeah, I felt like the kind of town suited the theme that I had in my mind to do. So yeah. I will also download this to the gallery, so if you wanted to download it and tweak it or add your own spin on it, then you can do. I will leave my name on the screen. So I'll save it to the gallery with just the exteriors. I'll then save it again when we do the interiors. So hopefully all the versions, or you can kind of create your own interiors if you wanted to as well, or see how easy it is to play with such a big lot, because I don't know if it's going to crash on me yet. So far so good, but maybe when we start adding people, it may get a bit laggy, but we'll find out. But yeah, we're on the final stretch now of the houses, trying to mix it up with colours as much as I can, but you can see I do a lot of the darker colours because that's the theme I was kind of going for, really. So with this set of houses, I'm planning on having the middle downstairs one as potentially the bar that I mentioned earlier, or something that's a shared space that people come and hang out with music and drinks and stuff like that. So that's another one. And then I kind of forgot to mention when I put the other shared space for maybe the library / museum art gallery type place. But yeah, I just thought I'd sprinkle a few shared places in there just so they can kind of hang out as one as well, and just see how the Sims interact with each other. So we're on the final set of houses now, and then I do go around and just do a bit more with the exterior in terms of just the general world, add a few more houses. I kind of go onto the river or kind of moat that I've got going on, just add a bit of detail to that as well. And I actually do end up changing something quite differently as well, which I'll show you towards the end. This next step, actually, I was just making sure that a Sim could actually walk through the entire village, because I've got all these different terrains, different levels. I just wanted to make sure that if I place Sims in here, you could actually walk and stuff. Now, this did take me some time because apparently a lot of it was not walkable at all for a Sim. So I just had to do a lot of playing around. Like I said, I haven't really played with the terrain too much before. So if you have any tips, let me know. But yeah, it did take a while, but I can tell you now that a Sim can certainly walk around the entire village with no issues. So this is kind of how we're looking at the moment. So I was actually very happy with how most things turned out. So yeah, I wanted to add a little bit more to some of the exterior. So in a minute you'll see I'll go in and kind of play with the water. And there's a section towards the back of the village that I just changed because I didn't like how it looked really. But that's the overall view of the village. And I was quite happy with it actually in the end. Considering it's my first big build I've ever done. I've only ever done like single houses, not a village as such. So I was very happy. So yes, I'm just playing around with the water. And it was this back bit, because I had a back bit with more water. I wanted big plants to kind of grow out so you could see less of the mound. But actually in the end, I didn't quite like how it looked. So I got rid of the water. I raised a lot of the terrain and I made it into a little outdoor seating area with a barbecue and quite a few trees and plants. People could get in to come and chill and have some picnics out here. So yeah, I just changed it ever so slightly. And then that wraps up this build. So like I said, it's just the exterior for this one. For the interiors, I want it to be a bit more fun, a bit more random. So any ideas or suggestions, let me know. And any tips or tricks. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you come and join the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.